Welcome to another episode of eThekwini Matters. My name is Zimbili Mazibuko, your host. Today we have the pleasure of spending some time with Eric Apelgreen, affectionately known as the city's Umkhongi. As head of Intergovernmental Relations, he is responsible for providing strategic direction and managing all the city's international relations programs. Apelgreen sibingelele sikwamkele namhlanje on eThekwini Matters.
Good morning, Zimbili, and thank you for inviting me.
Please give us a short brief about your unit and its importance to the city.
Yeah, my unit is responsible for, as you said, for all international relations, and we've got 18 sister cities. We have relationships with UN agencies and other multilateral organizations. So that's the one core part of the work, and the other part is intergovernmental relations, where we engage with a provincial, national government, and our neighboring municipalities, and really try and align all those things to ensure that we can achieve our IDP and improve service delivery for the city.
Our city is part of the sister cities network, which includes cities like Chicago, Bremen, China, and many others. How do we form these relations?
Well, the process in at a local government level is that a city can enter into a memorandum of understanding. It's not a legally binding document, but it's a document that gets approved by the council. It also gets approved by our National Department of International Relations and Cooperation, because, as you know, cities cannot sign treaties or any agreements without the approval of our national government. So we get council to approve and we get legal advice from national government. And then once the MOU is signed, then that MOU normally it has about 5 or 6 key outcomes or objectives, and they all predominantly relate to people-to-people contact, trade and investment, climate change, sports and culture, economic development, and a whole range of things that the city needs complementary support and technical support to enhance that aspect of governance of the city.
And how have we benefited from these relations with the cities?
I think critical ones. One is the technical capacitation of our staff, particularly around disaster management, climate change, managing water, looking at our energy security. So in terms of technical knowledge, that's something we've benefited from. And I mean, there's a whole list of things where we've benefited from other countries on our continent and globally. And then the other one is where we've been able to mobilize additional financial resources through international donors and multilateral organizations that have complemented existing budgets in the city.
Last month, we had a Dutch delegation visiting the city. Tell us more about that.
Well, very significant intervention where the Dutch government and its various agencies, because as you know, Holland is a country that has very good expertise in managing water because they're below sea level and they manage dikes. And so that partnership has enabled the Dutch government to work with our national government, the Development Bank of South Africa, and a funding agency in Holland, to put together a financial package that will assist the city, particularly in a key pilot area around the South Durban Basin, where we have big companies like Toyota, Sapref, Mondi, and all those companies. How do we ensure that we manage the drainage systems in that particular locality to ensure that both private residents and businesses are not impacted by heavy downpours and flooding in the city?
And today we have a delegation from New Orleans visiting.
Yes,
would you like to give us, an insight on that?
The fascinating thing about the delegation is a mixture of political leaders and private sector investors. And they are here in the city to look at how we could elevate our water and sanitation systems, because New Orleans is also a city that was hit by very serious hurricanes, and they have a hurricane season, and they've developed very good technology to manage flooding in the city. So that's something that they coming to share knowledge with us on. They are also looking at the whole creative industry and linking us with the Mardi Gras, linking us with other festivals in that city, linking us with the hospitality and tourism sector to see how we could learn from each other and possibly even export our craft industry people and the craft in the city, and send our artists to participate in New Orleans for them to get exposure and into the United States market.
What do you enjoy more about being the city's Umkhongi?
Well, the fascinating thing is that, I even though I'm Catholic, and I come from a large family, and my job enables me to go into all sorts of spaces and work with people that are of all faiths, of all cultures, and it makes me a stronger person, and it makes me a more capacitated person to do the things that our city needs and to bring those people that can support and complement our city's development agenda.
Any interesting, maybe new relations that we can expect to form this year?
We're looking at a tripartite agreement between the city of Bremen, which has been a very good partner with us in Germany, the city of Durban, our city, and the city of Windhoek. We're doing a 3-year partnership, and there's a huge delegation coming from Bremen. And we've also been able to secure the president of Werder Bremen, which is a leading Bundesliga football club in Germany. And they will be partnering with Amazulu here in Durban to look at how we could collaborate with the European football season and the European football technical abilities with our local, and find ways of elevating our local club and clubs in general, but starting with Amazulu.
Would you like?
We're also looking at the city of Doha in Qatar. As you know, we've got Qatar Airlines, so we're looking at Doha as a potential sister city. Port Louis in Mauritius, because it's a strategic port and it's a very important economic partner in the Indian Ocean. And we're also looking at a city in Argentina, a strategic port city called Bahia Blanca. And it's a very strategic port in the Latin American context, and we want to look at how do we maximize the value from the South American market.
Would you like to add anything? Tell us anything interesting about your unit?
Well, the thing is, the unit is located within the governance cluster, and it works across all clusters and units. Even though we are located in one specific cluster, but we serve all the clusters, and we would like to really elevate it, to make sure that it can add more value, not just to the officials and the political leadership, but to the citizens in the city. Like we've got these artist exchange programs where artists go abroad. We want to find ways of getting more sports people, more academics, and more technical people to go and acquire knowledge and bring it back and contribute. So there's a lot of opportunity and international relations. And an Mkongi is a person who arranges relationships that are in the best interests of the families, And how I see, I've got 19 sister cities, right? And I've got all these partnerships, and they're adding value, And in some cases, we get, not all 19 sister cities are very active. So my job is to always remind you, we love you, we're here, and let's talk. But some of them also have their own constraints. And like, for example, in the city of Leeds in the UK, they've had a very big cut in their budget, so they're unable to really participate in the program. But we are wanting to make sure that we keep Durban in the eyes and minds of our international partners. As you know, Durban's international tourism footprint needs more attention. We need more international tourists coming. Our domestic tourism is strong, but you need both. And I think really our International Relations Department, working with Durban Tourism and with our national tourism authorities, to get more international tourists to come to our city and our province. We are the best.
Oh, yes, we are. Thank you so much, Eric, for your time. That was Eric Apelgreen, the city's Umkongi and also head of Intergovernmental Relations. My name is Zimbili Mazibuko, your host, and from myself and the entire team, it's goodbye till next time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to share.